Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to discuss wildlife sanctuary and national parks. Let us start with wildlife sanctuary. For that, open the page 116. The term sanctuary means a place of safety. So, wildlife sanctuary means the place where wild animals remain safe. A wildlife sanctuary is a protected area of land which is created for the protection of wild animals in their natural environment, like forests, in which no hunting is permitted. Understand? Some of the threatened wild animals which are protected and preserved in our wildlife sanctuaries are black buck, white-eyed buck, elephant, golden cat, pink-headed duck, gharial, marsh crocodile, python, and rhinoceros. India has more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries. The names of some of the wildlife sanctuaries of India and their locations are given below. Number 1. Sanjay Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary in Maharashtra. Number 2. Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. Nagarjun Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary in Andhra Pradesh. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary in Rajasthan. Dear students, in this bird sanctuary, birds are preserved. Understand? Likewise, Sultan Lake Bird Sanctuary in Haryana. Dandelion Wildlife Sanctuary in Karnataka. Thatikat Bird Sanctuary in Kerala. Satkosia Basipali Wildlife Sanctuary in West Bengal. Lokchau Wildlife Sanctuary in Manipur. Bori Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh. Both biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuaries are the legally protected areas for the conservation of wildlife and its environment. But what is the main difference between a biosphere and a wildlife sanctuary? Look here, it is given very nicely. Children, look carefully into the book, page 117. What is the difference? There are four main differences given here. A biosphere reserve is spread over a large area of land, whereas a wildlife sanctuary occupies comparatively small area of land. Understand? Biospheres have large area, wildlife sanctuaries have comparative less area. Okay, smaller area. Number 2, a biosphere is for the conservation of biodiversity of the area as well as the economic development of the area. Understand? It is for two purposes. Whereas a wildlife sanctuary is mainly for the protection of wild animals of the area in their natural habitat. Understand? It is not concerned with the economic development of the area. Number 3, local people, that is tribals, form an integral part of the biosphere reserves, whereas in wildlife sanctuary, local people do not form an integral part of a wildlife sanctuary. Understand? Now, under biosphere reserves, the human activities such as cultivation of land and building of settlements, that is houses, are allowed in the outermost zone of a biosphere reserve, whereas the human activities such as cultivation of land and building of settlements, that is houses, are not allowed in a wildlife sanctuary. Understand, students? We will now discuss national parks. A national park is a relatively large area of scenic beauty protected and maintained by the government to preserve flora and fauna, that is plants and animals, landscape, historic objects of the area, and places of scientific interest. Understand? People are allowed to enter national parks under certain conditions to see wild animals roaming about in the natural environment and historic object of the area for recreation enjoyment for recreational enjoyment, inspirational and educative purposes. Understand? In wildlife sanctuary, entry of the tourist is not allowed. It is not easily allowed. Okay. Whereas national parks, people can go and they can visit the national parks. Okay. And they it is also there it is also used for the recreational purpose, that is for like for picnic and all, people can go and have some picnic. Okay. Then India has how many national parks? India has more than 80 national parks. Many of these national parks were initially wildlife sanctuaries. Some of the prominent national parks of India and the states in which they are located are given below. Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Ranthambore National Park in Rajasthan, Gir National Park in Gujarat, Kaziranga National Park in Assam, Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal, Bandipur National Park in Karnataka, Dachigam National Park in Jammu and Kashmir, Sariska National Park in Rajasthan, and Satpura National Park in Madhya Pradesh. We will now discuss the Satpura National Park in detail. Satpura National Park in Madhya Pradesh is the first forest reserve of India. The finest Indian teak is found in this forest. Okay, very high quality Indian teak tree is found in this forest. The objects of historical importance called rock shelter are found inside the Satpura National Park. Understand? Rock shelters are of historical importance found here. Understand? These rock shelters are the evidence of prehistoric human life in these jungles. So it is the evidence of which life? Prehistoric human life. What does it mean? Prehistoric is the time before people began to write. Understand? Even people didn't know, when people didn't know to write, before that time is called prehistoric time. Okay. And during this time, this prehistoric human life, people, they used basic stones, small stones and bone tools for hunting birds and wild animals. Understand? They were primitive people. Okay. So they gave us an idea of the life of the primitive people. From this rock shelters, we come to know that how the people lived during this age. Okay. A total of 55 rock shelters have been identified in this area. How many rock shelters? 55 rock shelters. Okay. Rock paintings are found in these rock shelters. Quite amazing, isn't it, children? Yes. These rock paintings depict the figures of men and animals fighting, hunting, dancing, and playing musical instruments. The rock shelters and rock paintings are one of the major tourist attractions of Satpura National Park. Understand? And many wild animals are found in Satpura National Park. Some of them are tiger, gaur, that is Indian bison, Indian giant squirrel, sambar, marsh crocodile, and four-horned antelope. Dear children, we all know that tiger is one of the many wildlife species which are slowly disappearing from our forests. There is a Satpura Tiger Reserve in the Satpura National Park, which is part of Project Tiger. Now, what is Project Tiger? Project Tiger is a wildlife conservation project which was launched by the Government of India in 1972 to protect the tigers in the country. And the objective of this project was to ensure the survival and maintenance of the tiger population in specially constituted tiger reserves throughout India. Understand? There are 28 tiger reserves in India at present, which are governed by Project Tiger. Under Project Tiger, a significant increase in the population of the tigers has been seen in the Satpura Tiger Reserves of Satpura National Park. But, dear students, it is a pity that even the protected forest reserves are not safe because people living in the neighborhood encroach upon them and destroy them and the wildlife present in them to make some quick money. This must be stopped immediately, isn't it? Now, before we end this discussion on national parks, we would like to give the main difference between a wildlife sanctuary and a national park. Look into the page 119. A wildlife sanctuary may or may not be an area of great scenic beauty, but a national park is an area of great scenic beauty. Then, a wildlife sanctuary protects and preserves the wild animals in their natural environment. In case of national park, it protects and preserves wild animals and the environment, as well as the scenic beauty, historical objects, and habitats of scientific interest in the area. Understand? A wildlife sanctuary is not meant for recreation and enjoyment of the public. It is dedicated to the protection of wild animals only. Whereas in a national park, in addition to protection, wild animals are kept for recreation, enjoyment, and educative interests of the public. A wildlife sanctuary usually does not allow easy access to the visitors. Understand? You have to take many permissions, special permissions. Whereas in case of national park, a national park allows easy access for the visitors to the land and wildlife inside it. Children, go through all these differences very well. Understand? So here we complete our topic wildlife sanctuary and national